You were pointed this way, then you pointed that way, then you pointed this way, so I'm trying to figure it out. From that buoy all along here. So you got the whole cove blocked. Is that what you're saying? That's what I'm doing, man. I was doing the courteous thing and going around you, and then you said, don't even think about it, dude. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
This is not how you want to start the day. SoCal fishing, a little bit of confusion on who's doing what. It's just two guys speaking past each other, no resolution. It carries on for a bit longer, but out of respect for the guy, I cropped him out so you don't see who it is. It doesn't get much better from here on out for the next couple of hours.
Here he comes. Look at him.
This osprey was relentless. It tormented me for hours this day, and actually ended up doing it for the remainder of the week while we were shooting for communion. I'm pretty sure it was just a juvenile, so it wasn't too hip to the swim bait stuff yet, but man, it was difficult to get a clean cast in for a good portion of this day without it dive bombing on every single cast. Two different sides of the lake, and this little guy was going to show up and do this to me for a fair amount of the time. It's kind of funny looking back on it though, because you forget these moments until you go back and start looking at all the footage, and then you're like, oh yeah, kind of fond memories, but not really. But it's just cool, refresh the memory a bit.
I know my shit looks good, but dang, bro.
Shit.
Look at him. He's right there, bro. He's coming.
Like I said, he just wouldn't give up. Pretty sure it was a young one. Wouldn't give up at all.
How many times, dude? How many times has this guy got to do this to me? What's your problem, bro?
Towards the end of the day, the weather really started to change. You got a cold breeze coming in. The wind was really starting to kick up, and I hate it when it's that cold wind in the wintertime. Most of the time, when that cold breeze kicks in, man, it really shuts down the fish, but this day, it didn't. At a small little window that the fish wanted to come out and actually commit to the bait, and when they were eating it, you knew they were eating it. They were fired up and just absolutely thumping the bait.
There is one. Dude, you see how hard he hammered that thing?
And just like any fish, when they first bite it on a big swim bait, you're convinced that it's a big one. But this fish really, really got my spirits lifted. That's for damn sure. Started feeling a little bit better, like, okay, maybe I am actually going to get some right now.
Come on up into it. Oh, fuck yeah. There we go. That fish crushed that thing.
I had totally forgot that I even caught this fish right before. It's not anything to write home about, but if you asked me to retell that day on the lake, I would have just been like, yeah, I went out and got that fish that broke off and, caught her again.
That was a nice one. Right? Yeah. Fish absolutely fucking blasted that shit off the surface.
Adrenaline's pumping, feeling good. It's amazing what a solid one will do for your spirits after it's been a grind so far. I'd love to say that was the first and only time that that's happened, but it's definitely not.
It floats.
You hope if it does happen where you forget to close that eye, you hope that it was a floater. That's all I could say.
What made that one come off?
I didn't close. This is a open screw eye, so you should close it down, and I just never did.
Oh shit.
So I'm pinching it shut right now.
Right, I see what you mean.
So now you can just tell by my body movement, I'm a lot more fired up now, yanking the rod a lot quicker, but I'm also feeling the pressure because the wind's blowing pretty well at this time. Can't get the power poles down because it's a bit too deep, and I'm afraid I'm gonna blow up onto the primary ambush zone. That's these toolies that are hanging out a lot further. So I'm trying to get my bait to the strike zone as quick as possible. You see me working it right there? And then I start to give up on the cast. Once I don't get bit, I start giving up on the cast. I stand up, realize there's a fish on it, it commits, boom.
Oh my God, he broke off! He fucking broke me off right there! Fuck! The bait's still there though. He's gonna come back and eat it! He's gonna come back and eat it! Don't eat it! Holy shit, he was gonna come back and eat it! He broke me off! He's got the hook in his mouth though, I think. Nope, it's still here. Holy shit! What the fuck? I just retied, man. That was a good one too. You see that one? You probably didn't see it, but it was a good one. Better than that 5-pounder just caught. Oh.
You stood up then saw it.
Yeah. But then he came and I saw him and he was like, oh shit. And then I ripped it and he fucking came back and boom, grabbed it. And that's where I set the hook and it just. But then you see his ass? He was coming back to eat it. And I don't want them to eat the bait that's floating there. That's why I started whipping the fucking water with the rod. Oh. That's strange though, dude. I don't break off, especially on a bait that's floating on the surface that I just retied 4 casts before that.
Now, this is like the one thing that I regret when doing the edit for Communion. I really wanted to get this full sequence in there to kind of really show the viewer that this was the same fish. I just broke off. I pull off. I retie. Let the fish set up again. Then come back in. Make the same cast. And catch the fish. But in editing, the music really determines the pace, how clips can be cut. So I ended up having to do a lot of like high speed cut forwards, chop, 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 chop. And I don't feel like it did a good job of showing the viewer that, hey, this is the same fish that I just broke off on the same day, literally the next cast around. But here it is. I almost blow that cast by it hanging on a toolie a little bit, but I finesse it off, bring it in, just working, having full confidence that that fish is going to be there, even though 99% of the time they won't be there again. But I just felt it. That fish was going to be there. I work it up to the ambush spot. Little pops. And then I fully just take that bait away from it. And then that's where that fish is going to commit. Right there. Yep. And it just worked out so perfectly.
Oh, she's a big one, dude. She's a bigger one. Come on, girl. Come on. Get in the fucking net. Oh my God. I did not reel up enough line. That's... Look at that fucking dinosaur. Oh, oh dude. That is what we're here for. Damn, I get...
This fish was just such an absolute glutton. Fired up. Just already had what looked like a big gizzard down her throat. You could see it a little bit here in the footage. She had tried to eat my bait the first time and broke it off. Then came back and ate it the second time. Just an absolute specimen of a trophy bass. Just big and mean. She was out there to eat. Just happened to slip up and got her on the Tyrant 10.
It doesn't do me wrong, buddy. Look at that fish, dude. She's shitting everywhere. Gotta put her in the live well. And don't Don't shit my drink. Oh yeah, girl. Oh. That was a shit show on the net job because I didn't reel up enough. But doesn't have to be pretty. She made it in the boat. Oh. Whew. Damn, I'm pumped now. What started as a pretty brutal day ended on an extremely high note. That's why you just never give up. 15 minutes, both of these back to back. Broke her off. She came back the second time. Oh, but now it's time to go. Let him go, but this is why we do it. Chasing a giant right here. I'll let that guy go first. Oh yeah. And then I'm gonna hang her for a second. Come on, girl, give me your tail. What a dinosaur of a girl right there. Yeah, love it, dude. Oh, makes the heart feel good, dude. You're all good, right? It just makes the heart